Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Been very much enjoying our conversations with this gentleman and author of a book that is fantastic for kids. And it's like the old books used to be. I don't want to sound old, but you know what? When we were growing up, there was a message in the book. There was inspiration in the book. This particular book has a character, but not illustrations per se. It's actually photos. We'll tell you more about that. Jack Sprout in Beaver Creek Meadow is the book, and he is Jack Wayne Shoop, and he's the author. Joins us once again here on the program. Hey, Jack, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, Steve. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, this is good stuff. You are our professional of the year, and this is many years in the making, where the concept, or actually even the thoughts for all of this book, go back decades and came to fruition. But interesting, along the way, you were involved in music, and then you put out a music CD to support the book, video game, and more. I can't believe we've gone through 11 chapters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, one after the other.
And we've gone chapter by chapter in hearing Jack Sprout's journey with all the characters. Today it's a rabbit, actually. I'm surprised it took us that long to meet a rabbit. And I don't know what it is, but lately I've been seeing more rabbits. Where I am a suburb of New York, where we're located, and I'm happy about that. Like, I always get worried that pesticides and things like that are taking them out.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing more here. I don't know. You're currently in Hawaii. Do they have rabbits in Hawaii?
No.
Interesting.
They don't have rabbits. They don't have snakes. They have mongoose. They brought the mongoose over to eat the rats. But the mongoose hunt during the day and the rats hunt during the night. So they don't see each other. So
Before we dig in, what got you so very much interested in wildlife? Like, I just threw that question to you about Hawaii and rabbits. You're like, no, I know the answer. Like, not everybody knows that. Not even people don't even know the answer in their own backyard. What inspired you? What was the beginning for that?
Well, I mean, I grew up in a rural area, so in Iowa. So the back door opens up, and you just go outdoors, and you're in the yard, and you're in the dirt, and there are gravel roads and mud roads, and it's kind of an exploratory situation. And your neighbors are all farmers, so it's all, and your grandparents were farmers, so it's all about the earth and the nature. And I'm not saying I don't like people. I do like people, but people follow certain protocol. Animals have a certain protocol, but it's
Hmm.
all about how to stay alive and how to get food and how to get shelter and all that. I just like watching them work, I guess. I don't know. I like the independence of them being on their own and creating their whole life without somebody having to guide them, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I've had more in the last couple of years, more appreciation for just the outdoors. Just even taking a walk and just looking, at creatures and how it's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Today, Rapid Fire Rabbit joins us in chapter 11. You want to dig into that?
Yeah, this is based on two truths that I went through. As a gardener, like everybody else, I've sat there and watched rabbits eat my plants. And you want to kill them, but you don't. And so that's happened. So this in the book here, you can see rapid fire rabbit eating lettuce, caught red-handed. And I'll tell you the other part when I get to it that really happened to me. So this is chapter 11, Jack Sprout meets Rapid Fire Rabbit. In chapter 10, you heard High Mountain Harry and Captain Barry tell me the famous story about the red-tailed hawk, Red-tailed McAllister. No one will ever forget the fateful day he stole the air out of Beaver Creek Meadow. We've learned our lesson and now do our best to keep our forests, streams, wetlands, prairie, and desert healthy and beautiful. Red-tailed McAllister still soars over our meadow, but now with clean, fresh air and clear blue skies. So this story here is about overcoming a problem. And the message is when you have a problem or a challenge, You have to look at it from many different angles to solve it. That's what this story is about. I have rows and rows of healthy green food growing on my farm. Early Worm and his workers fertilized my soil and made it perfect for the plant's roots. Aunt Jerry and Uncle Dale's honeybee squadrons pollinate my crops while they gather nectar to make their honey. The cool morning breezes keep the air fresh, the sun turns the leaves green, and the afternoon rains water the roots. I have a lot of good bugs keeping the bad bugs away. I grow flowers like tulips and daffodils on the south side. They love the hot afternoons. On the west side of my farm, I watch the sunset over the crop of clover I'm growing for Farmer Smith. I can see Beaver Creek on the north side of my house, where I grow most of my tall crops like sweet corn and asparagus. On the east side, past my windmill, I can watch my neighbors going back and forth on the trail in the east woods. Most of my crops are grown on the east side of my farm because they really like the early morning sun. My favorite time on my farm is the time I spend in the greenhouse. I grow plants there that don't like too much sunshine. Sunflower and buckwheat sprouts and herbs like basil, cilantro, thyme, and others like to grow there. Roses, orchids, and other flowers also love the greenhouse. All in all, everything's going the way it's supposed to go, just the way Farmer Smith and Grandma Irma Elderberry told me it would. They had trust in me even before I had ever done any farming. They'd said I'd know what to do because I'd come from the earth. I guess they were right. There's only one problem. You see, I grow many different types of lettuce on all sides of my farm. The problem was that not all the lettuce was making it into my harvest basket. That's right. My lettuce was disappearing just when it was ready to be picked. Sometimes it was just a few heads, and other times half a row would be missing. I had no idea where it went, but I had to find out. I couldn't keep planting, weeding, and caring for my plants just to have them disappear. I had a chair with a big stick on every side of my big wide wraparound porch. I had my running shoes on and was ready to catch the lettuce thief. The days went by as I kept watch over the lettuce patches on every side of my farmhouse. I never saw anything out of the ordinary. No one came by. I was sure they had seen me sitting on the porch and were afraid to get whacked at that big stick. When I went to harvest, however, my lettuce was still missing. Somehow I had missed the lettuce thief. Week after week went by. I kept watching from my porch and not seeing anything. I'd go to harvest and more lettuce would be gone. I got desperate. I started running around my farm, waving a big stick with thorns on it, yelling, "Go away, go away, go away, you lettuce thief." I didn't see anyone, but I figured they had seen me. I made big wide signs saying, "Leave my lettuce alone." I made traps with lettuce placed under a raised bucket to trap the culprit. I was getting up early, staying up late, and still wasn't finding the thief. I sat quietly on my porch all day, every day, staring at my fields. My lettuce was disappearing right under my nose, and there was nothing I could do about it. Helpless feeling, huh?
Mm.
All my other crops had become overgrown with weeds. I didn't have the strength to take care of them. The crops in the greenhouse were drying up from not being watered. My farm looked really shabby, like no one even lived there. Then one morning, I noticed Redtail McAllister circling high above my farm. He circled most of the day, and I knew I was in trouble. Finally, he landed on the railing of my porch, relaxed his wings, and looked me straight in the eye. I was sure he was going to do or say something to me for letting my farm go to the weeds. You know his story. He likes a clean meadow, not a weedy farm meadow. "You haven't been looking too happy lately, Jack Sprout. What's the matter?" asked Redtail. "You sure look funny running around waving that big stick every day." "You know what the problem is," I answered. "You know everything that goes on around here." "That's right. I do know everything that goes on in Beaver Creek Meadow. I know what's happening to your lettuce." "I have to figure this out myself," I said. "Grandma Elderberry said that every woman to help me get my farm started, but that I'd have to do the work myself. That's just what I'm going to do. I'll figure out this lettuce problem sooner or later." "Looks like later to me," said Redtail. "You're going about it all wrong." What do you mean? I asked. You're just sitting on your porch looking at your problem from only one angle. To solve a problem, you have to look at it from several different angles. What does that mean? Remember when went to see Fred Beaver and learned how to fix a broken dam? From Sawdust Miller, you learned about tree roots. You went seed picking with Barley and Iris and learned about power from Pierre Latrue. You went up Westside Creek and down Big River with Captain Barry and sit on the high mountaintop with High Mountain Harry. You've even looked through a straw down the hole where Early Worm lives. That's right, I've done all those things, I said. Well, that's looking at life and problems from different angles. To solve your lettuce problem, you're going to have to look at it from a different angle. What angle are you talking about? From my angle in the sky, I can see exactly where your lettuce is going. You can? Where's it going? Who's the culprit? Wait till I get my hands on him. Easy, Jack Sprout. You're not going to hurt anyone. We'll get this thing worked out peacefully. Well, how am I going to look down on my farm? I can't jump that high and I can't fly. Maybe I'll climb up in one of my oak trees. Calm down. Tomorrow at sunrise, I'll pick you up and we'll go for a ride in the sky. I'll see you then. The next day, Redtail McAllister showed up and had a plan. He used his powerful talons to hold me by the straps of my overalls and carry me high into the morning sky. Okay, but please don't drop me, I begged. Better make sure your buttons are on tight. Let's go, he shouted. Redtail grabbed hold of the straps of my overalls with his strong talons and started flapping its huge, powerful wings. I started running as fast as I could go. We went flapping and running and flapping and running down my lane until we lifted off into the clear blue sky. Hey, this is really cool, I thought. I could see forever. It was much different looking down on my farm than looking at it from my porch. Now I knew what Redtail meant by looking at problems from different angles. We soared around for a couple of minutes as the sun came up over the northeast forest. Redtail banked, flew around to the south side of the farm, and pointed to my Manoa lettuce patch. I'm in Manoa right now, where they have the Manoa lettuce and big buttery lettuce. There he was, a big old furry white rabbit munching away on my prized lettuce. He had several heads picked, ready to haul away as soon as he was done eating. We circled lower and lower, aiming right for that big furry bunny. Just as we got low enough for Redtail to drop me, the sneaky white rabbit saw Redtail's shadow. He took off running and hopping through my crops, trying to get away. Redtail swooped down and dropped me right behind him. I landed on the run and went fast as I could go. The rabbit was zigging and zagging, running straight, hopping up and down, and turning corners as I tried to keep up. He was just playing with me, seeing how long I could keep going. He knew I'd never catch him. Finally, my legs started burning and my lungs were empty. I had to stop chasing the lettuce thief and fell back into some overgrown rhubarb. Redtail landed next to me and started laughing. You're never going to catch a rabbit like that, Jack Sprout. I think you're right, I said as I tried to catch my breath. Just when I think I have him, he jumps the other way. How are you ever going to catch that speedy, zigzagging rabbit? Redman said, if you chase rabbits long enough, they'll run in a circle, right back to where they started. No one knows why, but they all do the same thing. You go over to the Manoa lettuce patch and stay there. I'll fly up and chase him until he goes back to where he was stealing your lettuce. When he comes running by, jump on him and hold him down until I get there. So I went back to the scene of the crime and waited. This is a picture of a very scary rabbit running away from the hawk. Redtail McAllister flew after the rabbit, and let me tell you, that was one scared bunny. He was laughing when I was chasing him, but there's nothing funny about being chased by a red-tailed hawk. That rabbit ran for his life and started going in a big, wide circle. It took quite a while, but when I heard the rustling of leaves, I knew the big white rabbit was on his way back. The rustling got louder and louder until I could see the scared rabbit running super fast. He was really moving and not thinking about me hiding in the tall weeds in the lettuce patch. When he got close enough, I leaped as far as I could go and landed on his back. I grabbed onto his front shoulders, but his furry body was hard to hold. My hand slid down to his hind legs, and I held on tight. I had him. He wasn't getting away from me now. I held him upside down until Redtail McAllister got there and told me to let him down. Oh, no. I'm not letting him go now, I said. He's too hard to catch. He's not going anywhere. Now let him down, demanded Redtail. I didn't want to, but I let that rabbit go. He was shaking like a leaf. He was afraid of Redtail McAllister and wasn't going anywhere. Okay, now tell Jack Sprout who you are. Hi, Jack Sprout. I'm Rapid Fire. Rapid Fire Rabbit. My friends call me Rapid. You can say that again. The way you run, I never would have caught you, I replied. I'm sorry about taking your lettuce, but as you can see, I'm a rabbit. Rabbits love lettuce, and you've got the best lettuce I've ever tasted. I have a big family to feed. Seems like every time I go home, there are more rabbits. I don't know where they all come from, but I have to feed them. I can't give you all my lettuce, I said. I work too hard just to give it away. I think I have an idea that will make both of you and all of Beaver Creek Meadow happy, offered Redtail. What's that? We asked. Well, Rapid is really fast, and you need to deliver your produce to the ones who can't come and get it. Why don't you let Rapid make your deliveries, and in return, he can take home all the lettuce he needs for his family. You'll have to grow more lettuce, but you won't have to leave your farm to make deliveries. Rabbit can feed his family without having to sneak around your fields. What do you two say about that? That's perfect, Rabbit shouted. You're really smart. We'll do it. Thanks, Redtail, I said. I couldn't have solved my problem without you. The next time I have a problem, I'll look at it from many different angles. You're welcome. You're welcome. I try to help. I do what I can. I'll be back tomorrow to start my delivery, Jack Sprout, yelled Rapid as he hopped through my field on his way back to his home in the tall prairie grass. Problem solved, just like that. I'd grow more lettuce, Rapid would deliver my produce, and his family would stay healthy and keep growing. So that's how you look at life, different angles.
What do you think is the
Problem.
main lesson for kids in this, or a main lesson for adults too?
Well, when you have a problem, you don't freak out. You don't get it. My son could tell you this better, but you get a problem and sit back and think about it. I mean, if it's not an emergency like a traffic or something, but you gotta, well, what about this? What about that? What if I do this? What if I do that? And the one guy, famous guy said, for every action, there's a reaction, right? That
Sure.
guy. And so I've always told my son that, and he works off of that. But you got a problem, you got to fix it. That's all there is to it. You got to look at it, and I got to fix this. Do I need help? Do I need to ask somebody? Do I need to do it myself? Do I need a bigger hammer?
Mm.
Wait, I had this problem yesterday. The gate wouldn't open, and I was going to go to get a hammer, and this guy came to help me, but he picked it up and cut his finger. So, there's a problem. You got to think about different ways of solving it. And it's amazing how when you think, a lot of people call outside the box, but I've never been in a box. I don't know about this box. But you just got to think about different ways, and you'd be amazed what you come up with.
I also see finding the opportunity based on somebody's skills. Like, for example, needed to get things delivered, rapid fire rabbit, he's fast.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
use your strengths, use the strengths you have to help others.
right. That's pretty much it. That's
Mm.
pretty much it. Because what goes around comes around, the whole thing. It's true. I don't know where karma comes from, and I don't know where all this good deed stuff. There must be some higher, you know, energy level that helps it. But you do. If you're a good person, things happen good for you, and if you're a bad person, bad things happen. So,
That's
And
kind of
those are-
the law of the universe. However, you
yeah,
shouldn't do good things expecting things in return.
yeah,
Just let it go, and then whatever happens, happens. And
yeah. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
hmm. What if you were to pick a out of the book, Jack Sprout, he's the main character. If you were to pick a sub character, and that's you personally, that you feel just resonates with you, or just, good representation of the meadow, which one of the characters would you pick?
Well, I mean, um, you gotta like Red Tail McAllister.
Mm,
He sees everything, and when you see everything, you get to be pretty smart.
mm,
Observing people. People say, "Well, that guy's smart." No, he just observes, and over time, he
yep.
figures out what's going to happen. It's not that you're smart; it's that you've seen it before, you've observed, and you got to trust your eyes. So Red Tail, he's surfing those wind currents. He's riding waves in the sky. He goes wherever he wants, and he sees everything. And you can't get much better than that, I think.
I also detect in Red Tail that he doesn't react right
Right.
away. He takes it all in, processes it, and then does whatever he needs to do. But it's like he's flying over the bleachers, getting his lay of the land, and
Yeah.
if he needs to react accordingly, then he does. But he also, not to say the other characters aren't smart, he just seems like he's kind of worldly for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, that's great. Thank you for picking that up because that's kind of why I needed that kind of character. I needed that guy that it's not a spiritual guy. He's not, he's not from, but he's just like I said, he sees everything and he knows everything. And
It's
he
like
doesn't,
he's street smart. He's street smart. That's
yeah,
kind of what it.
he's a
Yeah.
sky smart. Yeah.
Thank you. Listen, I want to tell everybody the book is available if you go to jacksprout.com. There's some free stuff there too that you can check out. A lot of links, music, and certainly if you want to buy the book for your kids or your grandkids, this is the way books should be. Just good stuff, good story, lessons there. But I love the fact that there's life lessons, but there's also lessons in ecology and wildlife and all of that. And I think that's missing from our kids. I really do.
Yeah, thank you. If they want to get a hold of me at jacksprout.com is my email, and it's also on Amazon. But what you just said was exactly right because I don't think this is something that a publisher will pick up because it doesn't have a bad guy, a good guy, conflict resolution, and all that.
Mm,
But I've been getting a lot of feedback from people think the believe it's educational. So I think of the educational direction. As a matter of fact, I'm in Honolulu, and one of the headmaster of a private school here has read the book. He's like 50 years old, and he goes, "Jack, that's a great. That's a very educational. You need to work on that."
love
So
it.
I think even though I'm not an educator, it's common sense stuff, and I just put it in a way where it's fun to learn about. And it's one of those you learn you didn't even know you're learning, and then you learn. So I'm headed the educational route, homeschool, that kind of thing.
Well, you have a super talent in making us feel that we're there. I feel like I'm in the meadow. I feel like I'm one of the animals. It's the weirdest
Oh,
kind of
great.
feeling. Yeah,
What
it's just
animal would you be? Would you like?
yeah. I'd have to think about that. I don't think I'm a red tail. Um, the squirrel. What was the squirrel's name?
Well, that's Grandma Irma Elderberry. She runs a nut orchard. Captain Barry is the boat captain, and Olive Rodder takes care of the beach. And Dr. N. Wheatfield's a educated educator.
Yeah,
Uh,
or maybe the otter because I'm big into water. So
yeah,
I just went kayaking day before yesterday. Had a great time. Love it. Uh, we're out of time.
yeah.
Jacksprout.com is where you learn more about the book. And Jack, great having you on the show. Always appreciate it. And just good stuff. This is the way it should be. This is the way it should
Yes,
be.
that's the way it is.
Looking forward next time we get together.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.